Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and I'm thrilled to be here in Havana, Cuba for the very first time, visiting this beautiful city with several of my good friends and fellow cigar enthusiasts from London. We've come for the 23rd Festival del Habanos, the most important event in the world for Cuban cigars, and of course, to explore the many examples of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition that are to be found within Cuban culture and amongst the people of this beautiful island. So join me as we travel to Havana, Cuba to explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition of this beautiful island and their incredible cigars. As this wonderful Festival del Habanos continues to unfold, I'm beginning to further understand and fully appreciate why it is unarguably considered the world's premier event for connoisseurs of Cuban cigars. The festival is renowned for its incredible parties, each of which celebrates the release of a brand new cigar. On Monday's welcome night, we were introduced to the fantastic new Monte Cristo Open Slam, and tonight, we're gathered for the eagerly awaited relaunch of the iconic Bolivar Gold Medal. Bolivar was actually the first brand of Cuban cigars I myself began to collect over 10 years ago, and indeed, the old Bolivar Gold Medal has become one of my personal favorites, which makes tonight's event particularly exciting for me. Of course, the sheer scale and grandeur of these parties is genuinely striking. Habanos spares no effort to ensure that each night truly reflects the glamour and prestige of their world-famous cigars, while showcasing different elements of this island's rich culture and artistic heritage. But for those that attend year after year, the festival is more than just the sum of the parties. It provides a deeply convivial meeting place for friends, old and new, all cordially united by a shared passion for Cuban cigars as they and we join together in celebrating the warm spirit of this beautiful island and its people. The Habanos Festival is indeed a gathering of some of the best Cuban cigar merchants from around the world. And I'm here with one of those, Ajay Patel, of course, from 6 Cavendish Street in London, one of London's, preeminent cigar merchants, doing their best, selling the finest and most aged Cuban cigars there are.
Yes, we try.
Yeah. So, Ajay, I just have to ask, you've been coming to the Habanos Festival, I would imagine, for many years. It's been 2 years since all of us have been here. Of course, this is my first, but it's been 2 years since everyone else has been here.
Yeah.
What is it like to be back, and what does this event represent for you?
Kobe, it's great. Thank you very much. For me, coming to these festivals is meeting people, the cigar aficionados that you only meet once a year. So since COVID, this is the biggest festival that's re-triggered again. And I'm so happy to see a lot of people have come back. And it just puts a smile on your face. Obviously, with the downturn of the talk about not much cigars available, prices going up. But you can see people are still embracing what they love. Even though we complain, we still love it. And that's the beauty of it. And coming here, seeing what Habanos has to tell us or announce what new cigars are going to come out, that's the exciting bit. But we always say, okay, now we've got to the stage, we'll see it in 2-3 years' time. But as we all say, that's Cuba.
Yeah.
We all say, it's Cuba.
Indeed, that is Cuba. But, despite what have been challenging circumstances for decades, Cuba continues to produce year after year, and of course, with the hurricane and with COVID, it's been a challenging season for Habanos. But I think as we've seen so far in the Habanos Festival, they continue to persevere in creating some of the world's finest cigars.
Definitely, and especially tonight. The Bolivar Gold Medal, the presentation, the way they've done it. I haven't even looked in my bag yet to see physically touching the cigar, looking at it. And I know the minute I open it, I'm going to smoke it. So I try and keep away.
Well, I plan on smoking the Bolivar Gold Medal. Bolivar, of course, being one of my favorite brands. It was the first one I fell in love with and really begun to collect in age. And so it holds a special place for me. And the Gold Medal, I have a few vintage boxes that have just smoked beautifully. And so I have to say I was very just ecstatic, excited to see that Habanos was bringing the Gold Medal back. And like many things over COVID, it grew a little bit and has come back now as a proper cigar.
As a proper cigar and a new vitola as well, because they didn't copy the original. They brought a whole new vitola out, new size, new ring gauge. But I'm glad to say that they've kept the gold. But they put Bolivar Gold Medal all the way around it. And I think that's a really good touch.
What really is, one of the most defining kind of characteristics of the Gold Medal is the fact that it is wrapped in that gold wrapper. And it certainly adds a touch of just a sophistication and elegance to what is already a beautiful cigar.
The way I'm going to smoke that cigar, so normally you take the gold foil off. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep the gold foil off, but just take the top off. And then slowly remove it as it goes down. Just to have that nicheness about it. It's probably the one cigar I'll do in Havana like this, but then I'll take it for event. But the first cigar I'm going to smoke, just take a little wrapper off and then keep the gold on it. It's just, I think it's a nice touch they've done.
Do you think you'll smoke that one tonight?
Not tonight. I'll probably smoke it tomorrow. Fresh palate. So what I tend to do here when I come to Cuba is anything I want to try out, I smoke it in the morning. It doesn't matter what cigar it is. And then everything after that, it's whatever, because your palate's gone. How many cigars have you smoked whilst you've been here per day?
I've had a lot of cigars. I've stopped counting for sure. I'm still waiting to lose my voice. I'm hanging on to it by threads right now, but I feel like any day it could totally collapse on me. So I have to ask, I see that you've got a Bolivar in your pocket, very appropriate. Do you mind pulling that out and maybe talking a little bit about that?
It's nice and long, it won't stop. So this was gifted to me this evening.
Really?
Yes, by a very good friend, Laurent, from Switzerland. And he goes, Ajay, I bought this cigar from Switzerland just to give it to you tonight. Have you seen it? The Bolivar Solomon for the Fifth Avenue.
Wow.
Regional for Fifth Avenue. It's phenomenal. I think it's of 2014, 2015. I need to check it to correct. I may be wrong. I can't remember all the dates.
Well, it's a large portfolio with all the releases now. It's hard to keep track of.
But to see this, it's beautiful.
That's
beautiful
gorgeous.
cigar. So this is only the second time they've ever made the Bolivar Solomon. The first time they ever made it was in 2008 for the China market called the Moon. And he had 8 cigars. They only made 2,008 boxes, released in 2008. That's the most expensive regional cigar in the world so far. But when you smoke the Bolivar China Solomon, it's like it's a Bolivar. And I know you like Bolivars.
Is there a cigar that you haven't smoked?
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes,
they're few and far between. You'd have to think about it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's like if I ask you a question, what's your best cigar you've smoked? And you'll say to me, okay. So the way I put it, I said, okay, let's put it in categories. Standard cigar, what's your best cigar? Limited edition, what's your best cigar? Regional cigar, So you got 4 or 5 subjects there, which I think is great.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and every single one of those, of course, comes with a specific memory of where you smoked 100%. It, the occasion on which you smoked it, with whom you smoked it, and all those are just as important in many cases as the cigar itself.
Yeah, it's such a big thing there.
Yeah,
and leaves great memories.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is one of the things I think I love most about the cigar community, and you really see that showcased here at the Habanos Festival. It's just the generosity of sharing cigars,
isn't it? People literally just gift you, and you don't have to reciprocate, but generally you do, and like this, Laurent bought it from Switzerland, And he said to me, Ajay, you can check my bag. I bought this cigar just for you for this evening. So these people, they go that bit further, thinking, okay, I want to give this cigar to that person, this cigar to that person. It means a lot. It's sharing.
Yeah, it really is.
The cigar world is sharing. And I always say to guys, share your cigars. Yeah. Especially to people who enjoy cigars.
Oh, Nick Foulkes! Famous Nick. Another wardrobe change I see tonight.
I can't resist either, bombing you, I'm sorry. You hate me forever.
You're making my evening. You're making my evening. Oh, beautiful. Look at this.
Hey, Demo. Always good to see you. Yes.
You should have seen.
Sit down dinner.
You should have seen Nick at Cohiba. He was, the most Cohiba-dressed man I'd ever seen. Lighting up in gold. It was incredible.
And we learned later that in Cuba, yellow is the color of love.
Who would have thought?
There you go.
Anyway, you better continue.
Well, we'll see you. Yeah. So many great people here. Of course, Nick Foulkes. I mean, he's a legend. I think he's been coming here since the beginning.
Yes.
And I've been very privileged to be in, of course, the company of those, traveling with Hunters and Francao.
Yes.
And it's been absolutely incredible.
Yes. And, in Gemma, and it helps to open up a lot of doors. Yeah. A lot of doors, which is great.
We've gotten in a lot of doors I don't think we would have gotten into otherwise. And, I must say I'm so thrilled and privileged to have been able to film that for the channel. And so I look forward to bringing that content to everyone, and I look forward to...
Yeah, and I look forward to seeing it.
Yes, that's right.
Well, follow you.
Well, Ajay, hey, thank you so much. The next time I'm in London, we must share a cigar.
Oh, yes.
And,
yes, 100%. And it's an open invitation. I know your agenda's tight, but find a little window for us. Yeah. Believe me, you'll love it. You'll love it.
Ajay.
Kirby, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Here right now with the fellow Cigar Keep ambassador, Alex, the cigar dandy, of course, from Serbia. And this, as I understand, is your 12th Habanos festival. And what is it like to be back in Cuba?
Correct. So this is my 12th time. I'm coming here since 2007. This is my 20th time in Cuba. So basically for me, if I have to come back even for 1 minute, I will do it any time of the year. So it's always a special feeling to be here. I just love Cuba, of course, Cuban cigars, rum, the atmosphere, the smell of the air, Havana, very special place for me.
Is there something in particular you look forward to most whenever you're here in Havana or at the Habanos Festival?
When it comes to the Habanos Festival, of course, there is the new cigars like this one that I have in my hand, the new Bolivar Gold Medal. So, but basically, I think the people, because I coming here since 2007, before Instagram, before social media, before everything, and this was the time of the year when we, connect each other here for 5 days, and then we don't see each other for a year, and then again. So for me, I really appreciate the time to spend here. First thing that I learned about the cigars is here with the people, that been in the business for many years. So for me, Havana, it's all about the people.
Well, I know that you've got an incredible Instagram account. You're really, doing absolutely exceptional work around, really high-end, of course, luxury cigar content. What is it that first drew you into smoking cigars?
I was a bartender when I started this journey, let's say hospitality journey. The cigars is kind of connected to the hospitality. So, I think that my first trip to Cuba, before that I smoked just a couple of few cigars, didn't be any, big fan of it. But when I landed Cuba first time, and when I smelled Cuba, and when I smoked my first cigar in Cuba, I think that when that spark happened, from that moment I started to understand Cuban cigars, the smell. You have to be in Havana to understand Cuban cigars. You have to talk with the people. You have to spend some time here. So for me, this is like a my second house. So for me, Cuban cigars in Havana, it's something unique.
What is it that you think makes Cuban cigars so special and really so unique within the world of tobacco?
I mean, I repeat this now already third time. I think the people, the energy. So here it's a completely different than anywhere else in the world. When you go to the factories, when you go to the fields, when you talk with the farmers, when you talk with the rollers, it's some special energy. Of course, I'm emotional. I think there is a two components that makes Cuban cigar, like a very distinguished product. For me, I see that as emotion and passion. And I have that inside of me, and I'm connected to the Cuban cigars with emotion and passion. So for me, that's two most important components. Of course, we're gonna say soil, climate, people, vegueros. We're gonna say all these things, but I think emotion and passion are for me most important thing.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I think this week especially, that's on full display, being able to go to the factory, go to the farms, and just see how much passion and how much of these people's lives they put in to the cultivation of Cuban tobacco and the rolling of these beautiful cigars.
Yes, to produce, such a product, when you go in a tobacco field, when you go in a factories, you don't see this. You see some people working, you see it from different angle, but then when you hold this product in your hand, after packaging, after all this branding, it's such a, amazing, amazing thing, it's very unique.
So what do you think of tonight's release? I haven't opened my box yet, I'm waiting, but I do plan on smoking it tonight.
I did it for you, so let me show you. So this is the new Bolivar Gold Medal, exclusively made for La Casa del Habano, all over the world. Bolivar Gold Medal, the previous one, was one of my favorite cigars. And
I have a box.
And I'm lucky you, so we're gonna share it, I hope. So what I like is, of course, the reborn of the Bolivar Gold Medal was special to me. So the cigar is just lovely. It's coming in Vitola named Partagas 15. The ring gauge is 48, and the length is 165.
Yeah.
So 165 millimeters.
So 6.5 inches.
Yes, you have to help me with that because I use millimeters. So yes, they keep the same. Same
style.
They keep the same length.
Yeah.
165 like the previous one. Just the ring gauge is thicker. It's 48. So Vitola named Partagas 15. The cigars looks very lovely, very exclusive.
Yeah. I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful cigar. And I guess you haven't smoked one yet. Do you think you'll do that tonight?
Yes, definitely. That's going to be, let's say, in 30 minutes. I'm just, preparing myself emotionally for it. So it's a special moment. And I'm always happy when I try something for the first time. Also, when you come to the festivals, that's one of the things that you're all excited about. You know what's going to be. You heard this and that. And then when you see the Monday morning on the press conference, when you see what's going to be, then your stomach starts to, you have that butterflies that you cannot wait. So I'm still preparing myself for this cigar. I hope in the next 30 minutes. So
I think of all the releases at this year's show, this is the one I'm most excited about, just because Bolivar, for me was the first brand that I really begun to collect in age. And the gold medal, was one that kind of escaped me. I've gone back and acquired a few boxes on the secondary market, smoked them, and they have been exceptional. And so it's exciting to see it re-released, but re-released as what you could say is a proper cigar. 48 ring gauge, nice 165 millimeter length. I mean, this is going to offer some serious enjoyment.
Yes, and the Bolivar, it's a full body cigar. No wonder why so many people keep Bolivar as a, to age the cigar, because the fuller the body, the cigar will age well, better, and it's going to be something like a collectible item. And Bolivar is always very special, especially, Simon Bolivar was a very strong figure in a Latin American world. So it's have a, that power. And I'm happy that coming, especially the gold medal. For me, I love that cigar.
It's a beautiful cigar.
I hope you're going to keep one cigar for me. We're going to smoke together.
Well, they're selling boxes inside. Unfortunately, none of my American credit cards work, so I have to skip the opportunity this evening. But these will certainly be something I add to my keep, so to say.
Yes, definitely. I mean, the cigar going to show up on the market soon. If they're selling now, probably they're going to hit La Casa here in Cuba very soon. And Europe, of course, the US market, unfortunately, no. But I know you have a good connections in London, so
I do my best.
I'm not worried about you.
Alex, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Kirby.
Cheers. So I'm here right now with the true legend of the cigar industry and someone I've been wanting to meet for years because of how influential they've been just in my journey enjoying Cuban cigars. This is none other than Max Gutmann, of course, the importer of Cuban cigars into Mexico.
And we were the people who made the first Casa del Habano in the world in Cancun in 1990.
Yeah. And Max, I have to say, I mean, you have just created some absolutely phenomenal cigars in your lifetime. The article in Cigar Aficionado, where you were speaking about the Partagas Lusitania, really begun a love affair that I've had since then of that cigar.
I think that the box of Partagas Lusitania in box of 50s, that was made years ago because they don't produce them anymore in box of 50s, but it had to be one of the best cigars I've ever had.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing better than a box of 25 is a cab of 50.
Yeah, altogether, yeah. The problem today is that, prices are getting very expensive.
Yeah.
So it's hard for people to buy box of 50s.
Yeah.
So 25 is good, but that's why they started making boxes of 10s.
Yeah.
Because to make it more commercial for
absolutely.
people and be able to have that. But if you have the way of doing it, I would always recommend if you can buy cigars and put them away for some years, they will always taste better.
Yeah.
It's exactly like wines.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, if you are someone that truly loves a good Cuban cigar, being able to, Gemma Freeman, Gemma, you must come join us. Well, multiple, I know. Well, I mean, multiple dreams coming true here. I mean, being here at the Habanos Festival for the first time with Gemma, meeting Max, of course. I mean, this is what's so special. And I was talking to Max. I mean, one of the cigars that I first fell in love with from Mexico was the Conde 54. And I'd smoked this with my wife in Mexico City one New Year's Eve. I picked it up at the Casa in Polanco, and I said, well, this looks interesting, I'll try it. I loved it so much, I sent my father-in-law back the next week to buy everything he could, and there was only 4 left.
No.
So,
4 cigars?
4 cigars.
Oh dear.
I know. Well, I told him, I said, get everything you could find.
Limited editions, you make 600 boxes and that's
and
it.
It's gone.
Yeah, and then it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's why we always say people, if you like it, try to get some more and put them away.
Well, we always say buy one and keep one.
Yeah, buy one and keep them. That's what I do with it when I get humidors, whatever, because I want to smoke them myself. But you want to keep one to get old, then the other one you have to enjoy because that's what it's for. Now you want to smoke them.
Max has possibly the greatest collection of cigars in the world.
I like them a lot. I collect a lot, and it's my pleasure, my hobby, and I'm so thankful that I started smoking, because it's one of my biggest pleasures to enjoy a cigar after a nice lunch, a nice dinner.
Nice tequila?
Nice tequila, of
course.
1 or 2.
One or two. Yeah. And I've met Gemma here since, I met her father since at the beginning. Yeah. So that's many years ago we've been coming for the festival.
Many years. We have a lunch every single year, don't
That's
we?
correct. Well, and we all enjoy smoking a lot.
Well, we were extolling the virtues of cabinets of 50, and I'm very excited that Gemma and Hunterson Francao, the next limited edition release is going to be in a proper cabinet of 50.
Paul Araniaga 47, so it's a Churchill. Paul Araniaga in a cabinet of 50. It's really nice.
I think it's coming back. The box of 50s, people are asking, because and you don't produce too many of them. So it's a limited edition.
Slightly, what feels like an old-fashioned size.
Yeah, that's it.
The smaller ring gauge, the 47 ring gauge. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Nice to have it back again. Yeah. Well, like your La Exception that you did.
Yeah.
I mean, Max was at the forefront of doing a slim cigar. I mean, when was that regional edition that you did?
No, but you were the one who made the little skinny cigar.
La Reina. Yeah, but before that, you did.
No, it was the Trinidad Fundadores, the original. In 98.
Yeah.
That was the first time.
But it was still 38.
Trinidad was out for the market because nobody could buy Trinidades at the time, remember?
La Reina, Max liked La Reina as well.
By the time the La Reinas came out, I had finally gotten around to the wisdom of buying just more than one box. One to keep, put away, to allow to age, which Cuban cigars do so beautifully, but one that you can actually smoke out of without feeling like you're robbing yourself of the future.
It's a beautiful cigar. We were at El Laguito today where they made it, and I met one of the girls. She was making Laguito Numero Unos, and she said she was one of the team of 3 or 4 rollers that made the whole production.
Oh wow!
All your production was made.
Whole production of La Reina.
Great, yeah.
Small team, because it's difficult to roll, so they don't have many rollers who can make that cigar.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There's different categories in the making of cigars.
Yeah.
So not everybody can make a La Reina. It's very special people who need to have many years in working as a torcedor that can make those cigars. So it's a plus to the cigar that was made by very few people.
Well, and that's why we were lucky it got made in El Laguito, because they were the only people that had a team that could make that cigar. And it's not normal to make an El Rey del Mundo in El Laguito.
No, but you were lucky enough. You were making so many cigars. You are so important to the cigar, to the world cigar, that I think it's a next thing for you. And it's congratulations again because she's made extraordinary cigars.
Yeah. Well, we were at El Laguito today, and I had the great privilege. The tortadores are so generous, and so we watched one of them roll this, and she gave it to me as a gift. So this was rolled today at El Laguito. And then, of course, in the spirit of sharing, which you find so often here amongst those that enjoy Cuban cigars, Max just gave me what was a Holy Grail cigar, which is one of the El Mundo Dante 109s. I can't tell you, how special this is.
And I hope you smoke it and you enjoy it.
It'll be a difficult occasion to warrant this, but I will certainly hold on to it for just the right one. Yeah.
I hope to see you in Mexico one day.
Max, we've got you on camera with that invitation, so we will be in Mexico, I promise you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Here in Havana with Nick Foulkes. What a treat for me.
Does it get better?
It doesn't at all. And this is a launch of what I know is one of your favorite brands, the Bolivar.
You know my feelings about this cigar. Too dangerous. But Freddie told me it's actually not too strong.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's quite possible that your recollection or the first impression that these Bolivars made on you back in the day when you first started smoking them, it might be a little bit different. They've mellowed since then.
Well, I've got whatever this was, the other big, not the big one, but I got the fat one. My knowledge of the Vitolas is I look at the chap with the walking sticks, very good.
There's so many well-dressed people here.
I know, and so many extravagantly dressed people, which is not always the same thing. But with the Bolivars still, I find I can handle them a little more easily, but it's more like a carpet than a sort of painting. It sort of carpets the palate. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Carpet bomb your palate. Well, just for this occasion, I brought, an old favorite of mine, which was the previous release of the La Casa del Habanos Gold Medal.
Nice cigar. Yeah,
it's
very nice cigar.
Quite beautifully, but you can see, Habanos is really supersizing things these days.
Yeah, but it's actually...
The new release is a proper cigar.
But it's a beautiful... they've done it nicely, I have to say. The packaging, but they've left a little bit of tobacco showing. I think they really should have covered that as well with an extra label or something like that.
Well, I guess it's got 2 labels and a gold wrapper, so they're really pulling out all the stops.
Yeah,
for this.
But we need another couple of bands just to take it down to the bottom.
So what's your first impression of this? You haven't smoked it,
I haven't had that one yet. And I thought I'd tackle the more
approachable.
Well, I don't know if it is or not, actually. Freddie tells me that's quite accessible.
Well, this was one of the cigars that I brought to enjoy specifically during this week. I still find myself hesitating to actually cut it and light it up.
In case you weren't able to... You had to chuck away a double figurado.
I did.
That's terrible.
It was
what was that?
Tragic.
That was a large Cuaba, or was it a Salamones?
It was a Salamone, a Cuaba Salamone. Absolutely beautiful cigar, and actually quite mellow. It was smoking very easily.
There's one Cuaba below that I find a bit So it's a two smaller sizes and then the big size. The Divinos is the little one, I think, and it's a fantastic little cigar because it's so difficult. I mean, as you know, to roll a double figurado requires a roll of such skill that you seldom have a blockage with a cigar like that. It's, exquisite.
Well, I mean, Habanos is really, I think, had some phenomenal releases this year. I mean, are there any that you're particularly excited about?
I'm always excited to see I mean, to be honest, I've lost track of what they've announced and launched, but has never hit the market. It's like phantom cigars, you know, they sort of, I mean, I spoke to somebody today, he went, he's been to all these launches, and he's never seen a single cigar on the market, you know.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's not the case. I mean, they've been, I think, despite the challenges, you know, really doing some great work, but...
Oh, I mean, I couldn't agree more. But I mean, bearing in mind that their usual level is 90 million, and this year it's 56 million or something. Last year, 56 million.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a drop.
Yeah, that's a drop.
But you know, you gotta love her. You gotta love her.
Nick, enjoy the evening, and of course, your company is always a great pleasure. Wow, what an incredible evening. This is the second big event of the Habanos Festival, the Wednesday night launch of the new Bolivar Gold Medal. This is a cigar that is near and dear to my heart. Of course, Bolivar being the first brand of Habanos that I really fell in love with, and it is the brand that really demarks the point at which I committed myself to collecting, to buying several boxes to set away, to age. And so Bolivar is something that you know, I've enjoyed for as long as I've been enjoying Cuban cigars. But this evening was incredible. I mean, one of the things I love so much about the Habanos Festival is all of the people that it brings together. And tonight I had the opportunity to meet a true legend, someone that I'd been wanting to meet for a long time, none other than Max Gutmann, the exclusive importer of Cuban cigars into Mexico, also the one that opened the first La Casa del Habano. And Max has had a profound influence on Cuban cigars, having released some of the first regionals and absolutely some of the most legendary ones. So let's start first with Max. Now, I had the opportunity to meet with Max. He invited me to Mexico City to visit his humidor, and I knew he would be here, and I was hoping I would have the opportunity to meet him. And so I brought what is one of my great loves. I mean, this was the first regional release that really blew me away. I still remember the exact moment I bought and smoked this cigar in Mexico City with my wife on New Year's Eve. This was something I just bought on a whim. I said it looked interesting, I'll try it. Of course, I'd never smoked it at Mundo Dante before, and this blew me away. I mean, of course, it could have been the company, it could have been the evening, but this cigar was absolutely sublime. So I sent my father-in-law back to the La Casa del Habano in Polanco that next week, and sadly, there were only 5 sticks left. No boxes, so I had him buy all that he could, and I think this is the cigar that I actually smoked whenever we hit our first big milestone, which was 100,000 subscribers. Now, there was another even more legendary release prior to this, and that was the Edmundo Dante 109. And in the true spirit of the Habanos Festival, Max, being the gentleman he is, pulled one of these incredible Holy Grail cigars out and gifted it to me. This is none other than the Edmundo Dante 109. Now, it's called a 109 because it has the 109 shaped head. This was the original head used on the Partagas Lusitania. Of course, they no longer make the Partagas Lusitania with the 109 head, but this was something that he pulled out of his box, if you will, and integrated into his first release. Now, this was originally sold in cabinets of 50, again, a proper gentleman's cigar. And now I have reunited here in Cuba, and how appropriately, this incredible pair of Edmundo Dante regionals, the 109 and the Conde 54. I can't tell you how special this is and how excited I am. You can see the smile on my face. This absolutely has to be a cigar that I smoked this week. Now, coming back to the gold medal, Bolivar has a long history of being full-bodied, strong cigars. Now, this Bolivar Gold Medal is the original La Casa del Habano release. You can see it's a 38 ring gauge, 165 millimeters long, 6.5 inches. It's essentially a slightly shorter Lancero, but wrapped in the iconic gold wrapper, the gold foil that made this cigar so famous and so iconic. Now they, of course, have not been making these for many years. It was a cigar that kind of got away from me, if you will. I'd never bought any of these whenever they were in current production. But last year, to treat myself around the holidays, I was able to find a vintage box that I was able to buy online. And so now I believe I have one. Actually, I enjoyed that box so much, I went back and bought a second one. I paid a pretty penny for it, but it was certainly worth it because this is an incredible cigar. So whenever I got here to the Habanos Festival, we were at the opening press conference. I hadn't seen the list of new Vitolas that they were going to be releasing this year. And so whenever I discovered that they were releasing a new version of the Bolivar Gold Medal, I was absolutely ecstatic. I mean, this is a cigar that I really look forward to adding to my humidor, collecting and aging. Now it's changed a little bit in the new release, and I think it's changed for the better. Like so many things today in Habanos, it has really turned into a proper cigar. So seeing these two things right next to each other, they are the same length, 165 millimeters, 6.5 inches, but the new one is a 48 ring gauge versus the 38 of the original release. Now I've been waiting for this moment right here to smoke this. And so here we are at the 23rd Annual Habanos Festival. We've got the Bolivar Gold Medal released tonight, holding it in my hands. But I think there would be no more appropriate way to end this evening than christening this cigar. So if you guys don't mind, let's pull this wrapper off. Look at this. This is a thing of beauty. I mean, what Habanos is doing right now is really absolutely incredible. And with a cigar like this, it's only appropriate to honor it correctly. And with that, I brought my favorite El Casco cutter. You know, how appropriate, the Habanos Gold Medal with this beautiful El Casco Gold cigar cutter. Beautiful cut. And of course, my new SD DuPont lighter. This is the Gold Dust. So you can tell I enjoy gold. This was a gift to myself to bring on this incredible first trip to Cuba. And so without further ado, let's do the honors. We're going to do Edward Sahakian proud on this one and not rush this process. Just in time. I think I just ran out of butane, but let's see how this beautiful baby smokes. Absolutely sublime. Of course, I'm Kirby Allison here in Havana, Cuba at the 23rd Annual Habanos Festival, launch of this Bolivar Gold Medal. And of course, as you all know, I love to help the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes while exploring the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. Thanks for watching.